Incredible. Just United fan, I believe.
Yes.
And why have you called in today? You sound very, very ready to go, bro. You sound ready to go.
It's just this club is done, isn't it?
This club is done.
Yeah.
How do you
I just don't see how this club is going to go back to the top with this owners that we have.
Okay. I think there's a lot of people who would agree with you. You have won today. You don't sound very happy about that. So does that mean that
We basically didn't deserve to win, and we got lucky in the end with the penalty. As we've got lucky a lot this season, we haven't been convincing in many games. I think the only two games we've been convincing is in the Champions League against PSG and Leipzig.
Okay, yeah, I'd agree with that. That's very worrying. However, you're talking about not actually being able to get back to the top, despite the fact that you have spent a lot of money. You've assembled a squad which is... I mean, do you not believe that squad is capable of winning trophies?
I just don't see what's the plan though. You have Pogba. I don't understand how you have Pogba, then you buy Bruno Fernandes, and you don't buy a CDM. You need a defensive midfield if you're gonna have these two players in the midfield. You need an Ndidi or a Kante, or else this will never work, and you will have to have a Fred and a Matic in the same lineup, and it's not good enough.
So for you, Fred hasn't been good enough.
No, Fred has been incredible, but
okay.
If you want to go on that next level, you need to bring in Pogba in the place that Fred is playing, and instead of Matic, you need to buy a player like Ndidi.
Okay, so you want rid of Fred, even though he's been incredible.
No, I need him as an option off the bench. He's not. I don't think he. If you want to compete for Premier Leagues and Champions League, he's not a starter for me.
Okay, so let me just ask you this then: in your eyes, has Paul Pogba done enough for you to become what I think he promised to be? Has he done enough for you to keep backing him? And at what point do you just kind of give up?
Look, this season, I agree he's been terrible. There's no going around that. But especially the half a season that at the start of all his tenure at the club, he was absolutely incredible. I think it's right after Jose was sacked, and he was playing more of an attacking midfielder role before Bruno came in the side. And he was getting a lot of assists. He was getting a lot of goals. And even before, when Jose was manager, the season we had Zlatan up top, Zlatan missed so many chances for him. He could have like 10 more assists. He was running the games. I think he deserves a chance. The fans have not backed him. I just don't understand. The media is always against him. He's by far the best player in the squad. And if you bring in Bruno Fernandes to help him, and then this season you have him on the bench all the time, because you cannot identify in the summer that the most important position in the team that you need to buy is a defensive midfielder, because you have none at the side. You have a 32-year-old Matic who is very slow. He's not good enough anymore. And you have no other real central defensive midfielder, because Fred is more of I think he's more of a central midfielder. He's not that good defensively. He can do a job, but he's not a DM that can play there like a Fernandinho for City, the way that City played the last few years.
Okay, George, listen, right? Your manager has a few options in midfield. You just spent, I don't know, 30 odd million on Van der Beek. You've got Bruno in there, Pogba in there, Fred in there, and a couple of other options anyway. Is it actually a question of, yes, there are a couple more bits until you've got this kind of perfect squad, but is it a question of he's not quite getting what he could out of what he's got?
Look, obviously, I don't think the manager is the best option available. But if you bring in...
Can you actually see him winning the league?
No, but I can't see anyone winning the league with this board, because every single season, if you can see the spending that United have done, whenever they finish outside of the top four, they spend a lot of money because they want to get back into the Champions League. But when they get back into the Champions League, that were like we did last season, we don't spend money, we don't invest in positions that we should to go up a level. So every season, if you want to check that out as well, I think when Jose finished the second, we did not invest at all. When Oli finished third last season, we did not invest in the squad like we needed to. And even I think when Louis van Gaal, when he finished in the top four, that summer as well, the club did not spend the amount of money that was needed to improve the squad so you can challenge for the league. So I think they're just happy with getting top four.
I have to agree with a lot of what you're saying, if only because I recognise it as something very, very similar to the situation at Arsenal. They have clearly taken advantage of the fact that they have this incredible business that they can use as an asset to get further loans on, to extract money from, it's just a very dirty business now, and there really is no need for the big owners to even try to win Premier Leagues. It's just totally irrelevant. It is all about your TV sponsorship, and just being in the Premier League is more than enough. I guess Champions League is an added bonus, but ultimately the owners aren't going to let go of this kind of, this
obvious because it's free money for them.
Of course, it's an incredible way of making money, and they are, in Stan Kroenke's case, doing much bigger deals. Like Arsenal are very low down on his radar in terms of the size of the business. So I just wonder, do you need to look past that and actually either, have a coach who is able to get something out of this squad? Because you have other managers around the world, or Europe especially, who are achieving big things with very little at their disposal in comparison.
But you have tried, you got Jose Mourinho. He's probably one of the most decorated managers over the last 20 years. You got him in. He wanted to spend. After he finished, I think he finished second. He wanted to spend some money on the defense. He wanted Alderweireld. The club didn't give him that. And then a year later, you go and get Barry Maguire. So even if Pochettino comes in now, let's say, he's not going to finish top four this season. I don't think that's possible. But he might finish top four next season. They're going to give him money this summer. But if he finishes top four next season, again, the Pochettino might ask for a right winger. The club will not back him. So I don't know how good a manager must be to win the league again.
So basically, this is where the conversation started then, George. You've come on, you've said this club is finished, and that is because, from what I can hear in your voice, you don't see an end in sight.
Yeah, it's like a continuous cycle. The same thing happens for the last 7 years. The same thing has happened over and over and over again.
Very sad scenes. I'm going to love you and leave you.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on.
No problem, George. Much love for getting involved. It is always emotional when it is your own club, right? If you have got any thoughts, you can join us on the... this is basically a phone-in show right at the moment, isn't it? We have got DJ. Who's next? Bring someone up and let me know which club that they're from before we bring them on. George, it was an absolute pleasure having you on. Sad scenes, really, because this is, what people love. It is what a lot of people keep close to their heart, and it has a lot of history and memories and whatnot. And things have changed so drastically that for some, it is going to take some getting used to. It doesn't sound like George is ready to accept that things are a little bit different right now. I do think that they're more than capable of something. I really do. There are bits there. So, even though the performances have been awful, even though they've been massively fraudulent at home, even though I have to say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been on a fraud watch for a considerable amount of time, It's not the football that they've depended on today, is it?